Welcome back to Hannity. So left-wing agitators are now taking credit for shutting down Donald Trump's rally in Chicago on Friday night. Here with reaction is the program coordinator for the College of Complexes and a member of the Chicago Socialist Party. Charles Paydock is with us. Also, he protested outside the venue where Trump and his rally was supposed to take place. Also in studio, Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clarke. Look, you have every right, Charles, to protest. You have every right to free speech. Nobody would ever deny you that. I make my living with free speech. But this is the problem. Now you have groups of people that seem organized and funded that want to shut down and silence opposition speech, like we've seen on college campuses all around the country. Now, I would expect as a socialist, you'd be a free speech guy, and you would want Donald Trump to have the right to speak, as I'm sure you love Bernie Sanders speaking.
I don't think we have time to get into the case law of free speech, which possibly doesn't exist to the extent that we'd like to think, and no right is exercised in the absolute.
Okay, but that's not the point. I don't see conservatives going on college campuses when liberal, Marxist, socialist, radicals are giving speeches and stopping them, and I wouldn't support it. And the point is, you have every right to protest, but why deny the tens of thousands of people that wanted to hear him speak? Why would you do that?
I'm surprised that your Republican National Committee and the other candidates for president haven't acted in this regard, and it's up to the citizens to put an end to this inflammatory hate speech.
Inflammatory hate speech, you mean like Obama saying, get in their face, get in their grill, when he was running? You mean that kind of speech? If they bring a knife, we'll bring a gun, that kind of speech? That was Obama that said those things.
You know, if you wish to discredit Mr. Obama, I don't perceive that to be the case.
You know, well, no, Obama said it, I got the tape, or MoveOn.org, or Occupy Wall Street, or Black Lives Matter, or any of these groups. Sheriff Clarke, let me turn to you. Look, I'll give everybody the right to free speech. This isn't about free speech. This was an attack on Trump, to literally attack him physically, no matter what the guy said. He's become a media darling now, but this is on college campuses around the country.
Without a doubt. And, you know, Sean, everything is asked backwards in the country right now. Okay, we're looking at rioting, we're calling that protesting. The cops are the bad guys, the crooks are the victims now. Everything that's said when one wants to express himself has to be put through an approval meter. This is a totalitarian movement. It's very stealth, okay? I know who these people are, I've seen it. This is a conglomeration of misfits. You have cop haters, you have anarchists, you have criminals, you have some rowdy juveniles, you have organized labor, and there is a spattering of well-intentioned people who are being exploited in this, and they're the ones pushed out front, and those are the ones that they push in front of the camera as they do their dirty work. This was an attempt, and this is an attempt to shut down free speech. These presidential activities are part of our democratic process. The people who showed up in Chicago had every right under the Constitution to participate in this election process, and they were denied.
Yeah, I think that's a point. Now, we see the murder rates skyrocketing in Chicago, and by the way, in small towns and big cities all across the country. If this is happening in your county, in your town, in your city, Milwaukee, what do you do?
What do you mean? What?
In other words, if you see a group of people that want to stop an event like this, how is the best way to handle it?
Well, first of all, like I said, their rights have to be protected too, the people who attend these events, all right? So you have rights in conflict, although, let's be honest, Sean, these folks aren't showing up to protest. If they want some lessons on how to protest, they ought to go back to see how Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did it. He didn't subscribe to these sort of bullying and intimidation tactics. So what I would do, the goal is to make sure that the people who want to hear this candidate get to hear it. So I think you have to do everything you can to make sure this event goes on. When this event was canceled, you know what it does? It denies those people their right of speech. So I would have done everything I could to arrest those individuals in large numbers, get them out of there so that this rally can be held.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I guess that's the point, Charles, and you seem to be an organizer and a protester. Does it bother you that you participated in a rally with an unrepentant domestic terrorist by the name of Bill Ayers, a part of the Weather Underground that bombed the Capitol, the Pentagon, New York City Police Headquarters, who on the morning of September 11th was quoted as, "I wish I did more." A friend of Obama's. Obama began his career in the home of this unrepentant domestic terrorist. Does it bother you that that's the type of person you're associating with?
There are multiple organizers and organizations that were responsible for. I categorize it as good citizenship. These are young people who are.
The next time you're going to give a speech, I'll send 500 people to stop you from speaking. How would you feel?
I think I'm proud of them for standing up and speaking out.
You're proud to join with an unrepentant domestic terrorist. That's not a problem for you.
Injustice, you know.
You're proud to stand with an unrepentant domestic terrorist, part of the Weather Underground. You're proud of that.
He's not the central figure. There's no bureaucracy that was behind this. It's the collective effort. And anything, you began your statement that there are some professionals or they're funded in this regard. No, these are people of like-mindedness who've got together and
to shut down speech, to silence opposition,
there are advocates,
to silence opposition voices.
These statements would not be authorized in the workplace even.
Sean, this is a totalitarian movement. You know it, I know it. They have been unmasked. They know that to control the narrative, you have to control the language. They know that Trump is a threat now to their moving in and disrupting our ordered liberty here in the United States, our rule under law or the rule of law. And Trump and some of the other Republican candidates are a threat to that. This wasn't an attempt to engage in peaceful protest. I'm tired of couching it not in those terms. This is not peaceful protest, all right? This is chaos, this is disorder, this is a disturbance, all right? And it's getting in other people's face. I heard that Donald Trump should ramp it down a little bit. I thought, are you nuts? I've been in elections. What you want to do with your base responsibly, and I think he is you want them at a fever pitch. You want them energized to get out and vote for you.
Are you going to endorse?
Probably not, but
Sheriff. All right, we got to run. I'm just out of time. But Sheriff, it's great to see you in studio. Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
You have a book coming out.